Should we break the ice with a good old movie of the week? Because I got one in the chamber.
Unload.
2 in the chamber. All right, I got it. So I've been on this little kick of watching like the Zoom horror movies, you know, like Missing, Searching, the ones that take place on the old computer. Massive fan of those. Really big fan. So I kind of went down like I find Reddit's good for finding like kind of more like obscure films, like, you know, films that, you know, just are more like indie, low budget type of thing. So I found a big list and I was going through and I watched this one called Profile. And again, it's like all on the computer and it's like through Skype and it's like old Facebook. So it's just super cozy vibe. And it's basically about this journalist who goes like kind of undercover to like kind of get in like ISIS recruitment groups like through Facebook, which I just thought was an interesting concept. So she's kind of catfishing this guy and, you know, he believes that she's Muslim or whatever the religion is. And then kind of like, but like then she starts to actually fall in love with this guy. Like it was really fucking cool, dude. And it
What's that called again?
Profile is what it's called.
Profile.
Yeah. And I just like, and I was just sucked into it. I was like, damn, this is just such a cool story. And like I was saying to you, like those, they just feel so real because it's just like a video call with people. So it's so believable, you know? Yeah. So massively enjoyed that one. And then I watched another wait, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say I added a couple of them to my watch list.
Yeah, definitely.
When we were talking about it.
Host was another good one I was telling you about.
I added that one.
Yeah.
And Searching.
Yep, Searching. And then I watched one called Butterfly Kisses, which was super like weird. But it was a cool concept. So it's basically about this like urban legend that there's this tunnel. And if you stare at it for an hour without blinking, you see this thing called Peeping Tom appear, which is like an entity. And then after that, every time you blink and open your eyes, he's closer to you. So you have to basically not blink. And then like he gets so close to you that he starts doing butterfly kisses, which is like the eyelash thing. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So greasy, dude. Really cool.
I'm just imagining Tom doing that.
The real Tom? Yeah.
The real Tom.
Oh, it was cool. But then they basically like, they're like, well, a camera's like a human eye. So they set a camera up. And they're like, you know, it doesn't blink, but then you turn it off and then he's like closer in the frame. It was pretty cool. So,
whoa. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So
I'll have to check that one out.
Profile, I'll give a 9 out of 10. Don't know why I'm so scared to give 10s out, you know, but give it a 9. And then...
That's pretty crazy, actually, because I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. Just kind of obscure.
A lot of those movies have like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, I think Host has like 100, or it did. It's probably close still. But like, how can you criticize that? It's like, it's a Zoom call.
I feel like, yeah, you can't say anything about the cinematography or like, as long as the acting is really good and the story is good, it's like, I don't know.
Totally agree.
That's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, it's, I'll have to check those out.
Dude, this could actually be a Zoom horror movie right now. The audience won't know.
The lights just shut off in here and someone drags me out the door. Josh, probably. So pissed he didn't get enough Mountain Dew.
Or there's like someone else on the call.
Right.
Hello?
Anyways, movie of the week. I'm going to have to go Tetris. It was one of your movies.
Yeah, nice.
I think last week maybe it was your movie.
Yep, I think so.
I really liked it. It was so unexpected. And I didn't know it was all about him like going over to the Soviet Union, like this guy who wants to like license Tetris for arcade and handheld, and it's just such a weird story if you were to explain it to somebody. But I really enjoyed it. Like I really love those kind of historical recreations, but obviously I'm sure they blew it out of proportion a little bit, but it was freaking sick.
Yeah.
I would also give that like a solid 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was great. Great movie.
Yeah, I love getting recommended stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing these segments. Cause yeah, it's just nice to like know if you like a movie, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably like it, like guaranteed. And if I like one or even a show, the odds are like you'll find something you appreciate out of it too, I feel like.
Especially with comedy, I feel like you always have good comedy recommendations.
Yeah. I know the one show that I'm really into that I don't think you've really seen is like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where it's like, I remember with tires too, it's like with comedy in general, you have to like drop all expectations. And sometimes it's like a weird rhythm at first, and then you kind of have to figure out what it's doing, and then you have to like pick up on it. It's kind of weird though. Like if you're not in the right mood for a comedy and it's just not hitting, like you're expecting one thing, but it's not that, I feel like it kind of turns you off. But also comedy is one of those things you have to almost discover yourself to find funny sometimes. Where some people are like, oh, you got to see this thing, it was so hilarious. And then sometimes you're like, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I find like
I don't know.
90% of the time when people are like, oh, this was so funny, I'm just like, no, I don't think that's funny at all.
Yeah.
But
yep, we have weird humor senses.
Yep.
But yeah.
We got to do a little shout out to all the new subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for hitting it.
She shot up like 20 something. It's great.
I really enjoyed that paranormal investigator interview with Brandy.
Yeah, it was interesting. Definitely.
Probably one of my favorite conversations ever. Like, I love talking to musicians and people doing film because, like, obviously that's what we love. But it's so cool to talk to people that are exploring things like that you've just never even considered, or you just have no clue about it. And it's like mind-blowing kind of too. I was mind-blown by that podcast a little bit. I mean, I've heard all that information like from other people, but it's just like cool to talk to someone sort of face to face about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how you felt about it.
No, I liked that one specifically because I felt like I was more just listening. Like I didn't have any preconceived stuff. I was just like, this is interesting. And that's kind of what I want with guests a lot of time, is just hear stuff that's new to me, or that just from like a more personal perspective. Like it's just interesting. Like, So yeah,
I love hearing people's life stories too, and just like, it's fun when you don't have to interject much. They can just go and like you can just learn.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I learned a lot, and I also feel like it kind of stuck with me. Like some of the stuff, I was like, yeah, I don't know,
gonna buy one of those contraptions, whatever it's called,
the spirit box.
Yeah,
yeah, that's funny. No, probably not. But I'm definitely, I don't know. It's always interesting. Like the medium stuff is very fascinating. Like speaking to, proclaimed loved ones that have passed away, or like connecting to their energy. I find that interesting. I always wonder, is it that the medium is more so connecting to the person's consciousness that's alive, and then their relatives sort of live within their consciousness, within their energy field, and that's what they're tapping into? Or are they actually tapping into like some external spirit, which is how a lot of mediums would like say they're communicating? It's just interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I feel like I still don't have an opinion either way. I just like to hear different information from people, and sometimes like you don't necessarily need to form an opinion. Because ultimately, it's like you'll never know, right? I mean, like, unless you have a very personal experience where you're like, I know. But
totally.
I just like to hear about it.
It's always best to kind of base most beliefs off of like more so probably personal experience. But even then, it's like, why not just remain an open book,
Yeah, it's true.
Why be married to an idea?
Speaking of open books, you got to tell me about your camping. Totally irrelevant comparison, but
oh man, I just got back from a 4-day camping adventure in the woods. Sort of in the woods. It was a little place called Lanesboro, and yeah, man, it was a lot. It was a fun time. It's always fun to get away from civilization, so to speak. Kind of put your phone away. Just don't even look at it, But man, there was 3 nights of sleep that we stayed there for 3 different nights. We were there 4 days, and I did sleep only a total of 7 hours within 3 different nights. So we're talking like a 2-hour, like a 4-hour, and then a 1-hour night. So I was kind of tripping balls by the end of it. You know what I mean? Like you ever get sleep deprivation and you're just,
you're
just hallucinating. You're just like totally out of it.
Self-induced, I would say, for the most part. It's like, I'm going to stay up
Totally.
all night and all day.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah. Try not
Pulling
to.
all-nighters recently. Yeah. So one of the nights was crazy, dude. It was just an insane storm that was rolling through. So I'm just sitting in the tent, just pure insomnia. I already can't sleep, but I'm kind of getting tired. I'm like, you know what? I might actually pass out here. And all of a sudden, it was just like the tent is just shaking, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And it's just pouring rain, and literally, it's like almost ready to like flip over at some point. And it's like going on for like 3 hours straight. It's so loud. There's just no way you're falling asleep. I was trying to like put earplugs in. No possible way. I was just hearing like the trees around me like creaking, like they're going to fall over. I was like terrified. So that was a greasy night. I think that was the second night. Yeah. And then we went tubing. It was kind of a lot of fun. It was like a big lazy river. We just it was like 100 different people and spread out in different groups. And like you would just get sent down, and we even had like we had massive coolers and they would have their own tube called like a cooler tube. It was like a squared off tube. You just put the massive cooler in there, and it's just floating down the river with everybody. But there were some times where like it got a little rapidy, like the rapids started to go. And there was this one time where I was leading the charge right in front. And I was just sending it straight down into like this embankment, kind of like this branch that had come out from the side. And I was going fast right into it. And I was like, oh shit, like I've got a whole pile up behind me of tubers, like, you know, everyone that I was with. And I just ram right into this thing. I like put my feet up to like touch it. Cause like, you know, this is a river that's just pulling you right down the current. So we get kind of cornered into this like embankment area thing. And I'm like, I put my feet up to like block the branch, but all the weight of like the tubers behind me just start piling up. There's a video of this actually. Some lady in the back was taking a video, and everyone piles up, and I've got my legs on this branch. And all of a sudden I lose my posture, and I just flip, and the branch just like, boom, just like impales the tube.
Oh shit.
It just impales the tube, and it's just like pushing, and the tube's just like growing and growing because of how much pressure is going into it. And I'm sitting there like, dude, if this fucking tube pops, that thing's going straight into my side. Like this branch, it's going to impale me. And I was like, oh God. And I was like holding it. I'm like holding it. Everyone's like piling up and like flipping over because like it's just so much pressure, like kind of coalescing all the one little section. And eventually I just break out of it, and I like flip out of it sideways, and then a couple of the people just like flip out of their tubes. It didn't pop the tube somehow. I don't know how. It just didn't. But yeah, that was kind of fun. Random little time. But that happened a couple times in different scenarios. A couple coolers fucking tipped over and just craziness. You know, you hit these little rapids and you get pocketed into like some weird spot, and then everyone piles up.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I was younger. I was like sledding down a hill. So there was a park by my house, giant hill, and then there was like a parking lot at the bottom, and then there's a river.
Okay.
So like usually they have a fence up like in the winter, like kind of, you know, between the parking lot and the river. But I was going down on, I think it was like a crazy carpet. Is that what you call them too? Like I don't know. The weird flaily things, you know, that you lay down.
Oh, I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe it was a saucer, one of those two. But so I was going down.
Saucers are crazy.
Dude, it was nuts. And I think I had waxed it too to make it go faster. And I was by myself, so I fucking get in this, whatever it was. I think it was a saucer. And I just like, you know, I go down. I start fucking flying down the hill. I fly across the parking lot, and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm gonna go into the river, like, and there's no fence. Ooh. And I just didn't expect to go that fast. And for some reason, instead of rolling off, I see like there's a metal fence pole coming up, and I decide to stick my leg out to try to stop myself from going into the river. And dude, just smash my fucking shin on the pole. And to this day, like I don't have any feeling really in that one spot. And it looked like I had two knees for a while. And it was just brutal, dude. It was like the most painful thing. Yeah, greasy times.
Did you stop yourself from going?
I did, yeah. I could have probably just rolled off, but that was like, I don't know, bad decision making in the moment.
But, how fast do you think you were going?
I couldn't tell you, dude. It was fast though. It was
45.
I don't know. It's got to be at least. Like there was ice too.
Oh,
And then you were saying like a pile up. I remember like my old class, we would go sledding sometimes, and we all piled in like a giant snow tube, you know, those big ones, going down a hill. And this girl like runs and jumps on the tube as it's going down, lands on my shoulder, it like pops out of place. Oh, brutal, dude. I think the worst like injuries I've had have been sledding. So I don't do it. Don't do it no more.
Sledding's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a girl I went to school with. She actually passed away sledding, I think, hitting a tree. And it's just, you know, just impact from, you know, brain injury. But yeah, it's rough. There's this place called Henderson Hill, and it's just an insane angle, like straight down. And I remember going on one of those little saucers. And you know, because you're Canadian, sledding's massive when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And I lived in Minnesota. So I went on one of those little metal saucers. And those things are wild because you can start going down and you just start spinning. And I remember I was about halfway down. I was going so fast. It was like pure ice. You know, it's so packed down. There's just sheer ice. And I spun around. And I was like, I'm going straight backwards at full speed. And I remember I hit this jump, dude. I hit this freaking jump. Boom! The fucking sled just flies out from underneath my body. It just goes straight up. And I'm just falling backwards for like a solid, what felt like 5 seconds. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I just slam on the ground. And I was like, holy shit, I had so much airtime. And it's crazy because you're going backwards. Like, you don't even know what's coming.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, it was one of like the most memorable experiences of my life, actually.
Did you have those, we call them GTs. Did you have those? They had the little steering wheel and like the front ski and like the tracks on the side. You kind of sat on it like it had like a seat. Did you have those GTs?
It's almost like a toboggan type thing.
No, it's not. It's oh man, I'll pull up a picture.
You have to pull up a B-roll.
I will.
I've never seen this.
It basically it's got like a front ski, it's got a seat, and it's got 2 tracks on the side. Yeah, just look it up, and it's got a little steering wheel. So I don't know if you ever had this, but like when I was a kid, like you would have like coats or something that were just so big, like just way too big for you. Like so we were sledding like at our school.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so this kid,
these look wild. I've seen these, but I've never wild, used one.
So
That's
I'm
insane.
standing at the bottom of a hill, and I have this giant coat on, and the hood's over my head, and it's so big that it's like covering my eyes, and I can't see shit. And dude, this like older kid, he just comes plowing down the hill on one of those, and he's like yelling at me to get out of the way, and I can't see anything. Dude, he just fucking just plows right into me, dude. It was so painful. Oh, it's funny.
I accidentally spit out my. I can just see that. Like, that would be the most scary thing. Yeah, he's basically coming down on a damn jet ski.
Oh yeah, that's basically what it's like.
Oh
man,
that's insane.
Random stories.
That shouldn't even be legal.
No, they were so fun, dude.
It looks like a machine. Like,
dude,
wild.
Did you ever play softball like at recess or anything?
Oh yeah.
So I was batting one time, and we had this giant field, and so I'm up to bat, and basically there's these 3 girls that were like way out in the field, and I was like, I think everyone was kind of yelling at them to like get out of the way, but I was like, well, there's no way the ball is gonna hit them. Like, dude,
right?
Pitches, I smack it directly, smokes one of them in the head, dude. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
anyways,
insane.
Yeah, it's funny. Random stories. Yeah,
God, it's like I keep remembering shit too. Like as you're like,
yeah, I know, it's funny.
They're so random, completely unrelated. But I remember I was throwing discus. You know what discus is? It's like a metal plate that you throw.
Yeah. Yep.
I was in 8th grade, and I was literally just throwing on my practice field, and there was like a landscaping truck that randomly decided to just like kind of pull up semi near where I was throwing, and I was like, why is there a truck there? Like, this is the middle of practice. Like, I don't know. He was checking something, like, you know, maybe some weird pipes or whatever, like in the grounds area, like of our school. And he was just chilling, having a phone conversation. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to throw. Like, it's practice. Like, I'm just throwing. And I just whale one out, and it just starts turning hard right, like way out of bounds. And it's I just see, it's like the truck and the disc, and then I look at the truck, and I look at the disc, I look at the truck. It just plows right into the front end of the truck, leaves a massive, massive dent, just destroys the front end. And I'm like sitting there like, oh my God, dude. Like I was with my friend, and I was just like, should we just leave? You know, it's like, I didn't know what to do. I was in 8th grade, and I was like, I literally massively damaged this guy's truck. But it's really kind of, whose fault is it at that point? I don't know.
Yeah.
He was in the practice field.
Did you get in trouble?
But I did what I did is I walked up to him, and he's on the phone. He's just like looking at it, the damage. And it wasn't probably his vehicle. It looked like he worked for that company. And I just pick up my disc, and I'm just like, I'm really sorry. And I just walked away. But it was just like one of those moments where, I don't know, it's like, yeah, you see something and you're like, there's no way I'll hit that thing.
Yeah. And then
like, there's no way. And then you hit that exact thing when you're trying exactly not to do it. It's kind of weird. You like attract yourself to that object. And I've done that before with like disc golf too.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'll never hit this car or whatever. And just wham. And you're like, oh my gosh. It's kind of funny how it's like when you're trying to avoid something, you almost aim more towards that in a weird way.
Yeah. Weird subconscious things going on.
I'm just glad to be back home. Glad to be back in civilization again, and
yeah, man.
Using a bathroom, regular bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the ultimate story of what happened.
I do.
Yeah, so the campsite, I guess I'll just tell it. It's one of those things. So the campsite is one of the more remote sites, so it's toward the edge of the campground. And it's like in a floodplain, so the only thing they have is like one porta potty for like 50 people staying in tents. So I was like, I'm going to bed. It's like 4 a.m. And I'm like, ooh, I really got to go to the bathroom. And I was not going to use the porta potty, right? Because, it was that kind of situation where you're not going to use a porta potty. And that thing's been used all weekend. I don't even think they changed it yet. It's gross, so I'm not going in there. I said, I'm going to the office restrooms way up by the office. This is a 10-minute walk, mind you. And I was already telling people around the campsite, I was like, we kind of pay like money for this campsite every night. It's kind of weird. They only give us like one porta potty. And then it's like, if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to walk 10 minutes to go. And that's kind of crazy because you have to like be like, okay, now I have to go and I'll start my 10-minute walk. So dude, 4 a.m., no one's awake, basking in the moonlight. The moonlight's just shooting through the trees. I'm walking across this massive grass field, and I was like, yeah, I got to go. And I like had AirPods in. I was like, listen to, I was like, oh, I'll like listen to a podcast. I haven't touched my phone all weekend. I was like, all right, listen to this podcast. I got my phone charging with one of those like jack charger things, like the external batteries. So I got a handful of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, walking my way to the bathroom. And I'm like, man, I really have to go to the bathroom. And I'm only like 2 minutes into my walk. And I've got blisters on my feet from walking with flip-flops all weekend. I never even put on socks the whole weekend. And I was like, oh man, my foot's so sore. So I took off my shoes, like my flip-flops. Now I got flip-flops, my phone, AirPod case. I got like an external battery, and I'm just like walking along. And then, man, it just started to hit me even harder. I'm like, I'm only 5 minutes in, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna like, I might start like a swift little jog. So I'm jogging along, and literally, I swear to God, dude, like I'm still a solid what feels like a quarter mile away, and it hits me so hard. I have to go so bad. It's like unbelievable. Honestly, it like took my breath away how bad I had to get to the bathroom.
Oh, God.
I am sprinting for my life. The last 2 minutes, I am sprinting for my life with my phone in my hand, my flip-flops, and I'm just running. I'm just like, dude, it's just like nobody's awake, and I'm just like, oh my God, I hope I make it. And then when I get there, I look, and it looked like the door was like closed and it was locked. And in my head, as I was running up to the door, I was like, I got to make a decision here, because if I grab this door handle and it's locked, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I was like, I'm thinking about 5 different alternatives in my head. I'm like, okay, I can go in this, there's the guy's RV over there. Maybe I can like tuck away in the woods. He won't see me. I'll just be going. But anyways, dude, the door opens. It's just like, it opens up. I fly into the stall and I just land. Unbelievable. It just was like the relief that I had in my mind was just unreal. And it's funny because it's like 4 a.m. There's no one there. And it was like automatic lights. So as soon as I sit down, the lights turn off completely. And it's pitch black.
Oh my God.
It's just pitch black in the stall. And it was funny. I was in there for pitch black, like, but I did it. I lived. And it was one of those things where you're like, I can't believe that I was talking about that. Like, oh, what if that were to happen? It's kind of far away. It's kind of inconvenient. And I must have hyped it up in my head, and it must have got to me, and I must have got anxious about it. It just started spiraling like a snowball effect. Probably the closest ever to not making it.
The closest ever.
I don't love to admit it. It's definitely a story I'm not,
dude, everyone has been
proud
there.
to tell. But I just want to let you guys know you're not alone if it's ever happened.
Dude, I got a couple of those camping things. I don't know if I want to go there. I don't know if I'm confident enough to go there.
Camping invites the most greasy moments of life.
Dude, I just like those little boxes that are in the woods with like the hole. I just like, that's terrifying.
Oh.
I remember like I always have like check for spiders and stuff. And like you like hover
Latrines,
over.
they're called, right?
I don't know. I guess like whenever we went,
latrines.
yeah, it was just like a literal wood box over top of a hole. And it's like, that's a grease show right there, man. And then like you forget to bring your toilet paper roll or something. And you're like, oh God, like what am I doing?
It's horrible.
Dude, I knew a guy who we'll say wiped, all right, with poison ivy by accident.
Are you serious?
He's like reaching for the nearest plant, dude. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I knew a guy. And that's just, I can't imagine the trauma, really.
That's actually
It's pretty
unbelievable.
messed up, dude.
That's like the thing straight out of nightmares.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
All right, I'll tell one small story since you did.
Okay.
Just a mild one. So this isn't camping, but this was like, it's
a little
hilarious.
TMI podcast, but I'm all for
Dude,
it.
it's whatever. It's kind of funny. So
shades.
Yeah,
The shades
shade they make
let
better.
you do anything.
I know. I wish I had some, but
That.
we'll get vulnerable here. So I got basically when I was like pursuing acting a bit, like in Toronto, and I had this agent that was interested in like signing me, and they they did like casting for TV and random stuff. They weren't like a massive agency, but for me it was like a big deal, and their office is right downtown. So I get like a meeting set up with them. It's at like 9 a.m, super early, and I lived at the time like an hour and a half away. So I get up, I'm just tired as hell. I'm driving to Toronto, and it's just like the traffic there is nuts, and it's right downtown. So I get there and I had like a coffee, right? And I'm like, oh God, like I have to pee so bad. And I'm like, I'm already going to be late. So I'm like trying to find a parking garage close to it, just traffic everywhere. And I'm like, using my phone. I'm like, oh God, like what do I do? And I'm like, I just can't, I don't have time. So I finally find a parking garage. I go in there, find a spot, and I'm like, I am in a predicament here, right? Because like I got to go in, but like I have to, like I've never had to go this bad. And I'm like, well, all right, I got a empty Starbucks cup, I guess. Like, we'll give that a quick go. We give her a quick go. And then I realize, oh, damn, boys, there's a crack in her, right? So,
oh no,
dude, and like my pants, they're compromised. I'm like, I'm about to go into this fucking meeting for like an agent. Oh, dude. And like you're sweating and you're anxious and you're like all freaking out. But thankfully, I had an extra pair of pants in the back seat for some reason. But it's just,
that's insane.
Yeah, it was greasy one.
How clutch is that?
It was pretty awesome, dude. Like it was, yeah. But I don't know. But then I don't know. Just you get so flustered. And, yeah, it does, man. Happens to the best of us. And then you act like nothing happened. You go in and like, nice to meet you, man.
Oh,
but
you just, it's just like, it's funny, you're going into those environments, they're like overly formal.
Yeah.
And it's just like what we talk about, like what's just outside of the frame.
I know,
like
exactly.
It's so like funny. What's just outside of the frame of that interview and that interaction with somebody.
Yeah.
Like you could talk to somebody right off the street. You don't know what they just went through 5 minutes ago.
I know, dude. It's hilarious. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, man. I had the same. It's very similar with the parking ramp. I remember I was going to Pooh Bear's studio, And Pooh Bear is, he did like What Do You Mean? A lot of these Justin Bieber like hits. He did that one with Ed Sheeran, I Don't Care. I was telling you how I listened to the demo in his studio before it was released on Spotify, and it broke the streaming records. But I remember that exact day, in LA, you can't go to the bathroom anywhere. There's like nowhere to go. And I remember going like ready, like going to the studio. Before we got to the studio, I had to go so bad. And I did not want to go into his studio. And the first thing I tell him is, nice to meet you. Like, is there a restroom I can use? Like, I did not want to do that. So I remember I just went into a parking garage and I had a massive smart water bottle empty, and that saved the day. And didn't want to do it, but you got to do it sometimes. There's nothing you can do. Are you muted?
No.
I couldn't hear you.
I was just I was just thinking.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And hopefully this, he'll never find out about that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, who cares? It was in Studio City. I've had like the can with like cigarette butts.
Yeah, that's the worst, dude.
Pick it up, and I don't smoke myself. I smoke cigars once in a while, but not like regularly. But somebody else was smoking at the party. Had cigarette butts just go boom. It's just full of saliva and cigarette butts. It's just like, I mean, you live and you learn,
You really
go
do.
through stuff like that. It's probably the first time I don't know. It's just like certain things like that. I don't know. You don't bring up in normal conversations. So it's hilarious to like think about them again and be like,
it is. But it's like,
gotta tell this story.
I don't know, man. That's kind of the thing with the pod. It's like, I think people like hearing stuff that they wouldn't normally hear. And I don't know.
Like revealing like things that are really embarrassing, but
yeah,
it's just like, I don't know. It reminds you, it's like, yeah, like shit happens to everyone.
Yeah. It's just a person,
Literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's nothing better than a clean house. It's your own bathrooms. Man, I hate when you're in cities and you just have to pee really bad. It's just the worst. And why do all gas stations in major like cities, they're just greasy as hell? Like you can't have a clean bathroom or a clean gas station with like a nice bathroom.
Dude,
it's insane though, because it's like, why is that impossible? It's literally impossible to have a clean bathroom in an inner city gas station or something. It's absolutely impossible. It's like never happened. I've never experienced it. And I don't know, maybe it is the sheer volume of people. I don't know.
It's probably just like, it's got to be such a low priority. If you run at a gas station, like who fucking cares? Like people are going to use it.
I guess.
Dude, the keys, like they're always attached to like some massive like piece of wood or something.
And they're so gross because there's just so many germs on that giant key. Yeah, they'll be attached to like a wooden ladle.
I know. Yeah.
Or a ruler.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And you're just like trying to touch them with as little like of your hand as possible to open them up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. But no, when I came back, like the first thing, just like take a shower, just like clean bathroom, just nothing better than getting away from like being just greasy out in the woods for 4 days. But I mean, it's good too, because you're grounded to the earth like the whole time. Like I was literally barefoot all weekend. I was wearing flip-flops. That's how I got blisters, but mainly I was just barefoot. So I was grounded all weekend, which is nice.
Yeah.
Didn't really look at my phone at all.
Oh, that's good.
Good conversations, deep conversations. It's always fun.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Ain't nothing better than a sparkling clean John.
That's true.
It is true. Okay, speaking of camping and stuff, I wanted to ask you, this was something that I came across. Do you know about the Sierra sounds? Are you familiar with that? Like the Bigfoot thing?
Sierra sounds? I don't think so.
It's super interesting. So it's basically this recording from the 70s by this guy, I think, Ron Moorhead is his name. Basically, he was in the woods with like some group of, I don't know if they were hunters or whatever, but they basically, they heard these two creatures kind of like surround their camp and started making these wild sounds and then like talking to each other in some fucking weird language. So it's really interesting, dude. Like, and they had it analyzed by, I have a link. I wanted to send it and just kind of hear your thoughts. I just thought it was interesting. I'm not saying it's like real or not, but I know experts analyzed it and they said like it seems to be a real recording. I'll send it in the chat. It's a 4-minute thing. You can kind of just skim through. But just cool.
Send her in the chat.
There she is right there. Yeah,
this isn't going to be some thing you made in Logic. No, that's absolutely hilarious.
9 years ago, it was uploaded.
Yeah,
I'll throw it up in on the pod too.
I'm listening.
Yeah, it takes a while to get into her. Ooh, she's stereo too. I'm just hearing that.
Can you hear it through?
Yeah, I hear it in my headphones.
Nice.
You hearing that, like the whoop whoop?
Yeah, I'm hearing like the whoops.
Yeah, this starts with that.
Oh.
You trying to talk to this?
That's fucking creepy, boys.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently one was like close to them and one was like further.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's 2 of them across the creek at the big rocks.
Oh my god, that's creepy.
Right there, I just seen movement right through there.
Oh. That's wild, boys. That's wild.
Yeah, super weird.
Interesting.
Very interesting thing.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I talked to someone who said he literally saw Bigfoot.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
And he definitely wasn't saying it just to like BS me. Like he was serious. He was like, I've literally seen Sam Squanch, basically. But no, it's like crazy. It's wild. Yeah, those sounds are freaky. I can't even imagine hearing something like that in the woods, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Because when I was camping, I went out by the river one night, and there was like no one around, basically. Like went for a walk, and there was this like baby making a weird sound in a campsite over, and it scared the hell out of me.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I can't even imagine hearing something like this. Dude, you're just on edge too when you're like out in the woods, like at nighttime.
Oh, dude.
Man.
Scares me a lot, man. Like, not a fan of camping, mostly for that. Like, it just freaks me out.
It's crazy though, because you're such a horror man.
I know.
Horror man.
I know. That's probably why I'm like, there could be anything out here.
Yeah, you've opened your mind to all possibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, like, obviously they could have just recorded that themselves.
It's more fun
but
to
it's
think it's
freaky.
real.
Oh, dude, you should always entertain the possibility that it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it could be. It literally could be.
Could be.
It's, God, I don't know. A lot of people have seen them. Like, a lot of people have seen a figure, like an ape-like figure in the woods. It's like, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people. And they're not all just like country bumpkins, so to speak. Like, a lot of people just like, people too easily disbelieve people, I feel like. And it's not that people don't lie. It's not that people don't embellish things. Of course they do. We all know that. But I do feel like more people are probably telling the truth when they say something crazy happened to them than not. I really believe that. And I just feel like, yeah, it's like with the UFOs, with the Bigfoot stuff, it's like, who knows, man? I mean, how is something permeating, like staying over time? Like it's a story that keeps getting repeated and repeated over and over. What's keeping it alive? Is it the actual sightings, or is it just...
Yeah, the folklore.
I don't know. Or is it like Brandy was saying, where it's like you're manifesting the experience through your like fear of it? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's like kind of how you look at it. It's like, they're discovering new species in the ocean all the time. So it's like if you look at maybe a Bigfoot or even an alien, like just, okay, that's just another species of things that exist. I feel like that's part of the thing. It's like there's all these preconceived like weird things around it, but it's like that could just be a branch off of a human or an ape or something that there's few left, and they're really good at hiding. Like, who knows? Yeah.
Or what if it's like almost an interdimensional thing, where that sounds crazy just off the bat, obviously. But if you think about it, it's like, what if UFOs, Bigfoot, some of these paranormal things that people experience, what if there's something to do with like another time that is sort of like somehow interacting with our dimension, and you're kind of like seeing like the shadow of like another dimension? It's kind of like, who knows, like maybe there's some type of like portal thing that's just, sometimes our consciousness can observe these phenomenon, and maybe it's harder to like objectively measure them through like instruments, but there's something there, and it can't be repeated like nicely and neatly and when we want it to happen. It's just like there might be certain things about reality that just kind of come in and out, and they cannot be measured necessarily, like maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I always wonder that, like with Bigfoot, it could be that there's like, because there's like the Gigantopithecus, which is like this giant ape humanoid that did exist, but that was like, I think in Asia. I mean, I think it was like hundreds of thousands of years ago. But it's like, it's not impossible for like a few of the, like a small group of a species to still be left around. I mean, what's like the amount of species like undiscovered in the ocean? Like the estimate is like the vast majority of species haven't been explored.
Yeah. And where I kind of have a hard time with all that is, all these things that we don't understand, like we're trying to understand them from our limited perspective. And I think that's something that's like always like a fundamental problem, but it's like nobody wants to talk about that. They're always like science this and like proof and evidence, but it's like that's all from our limited understanding of reality. So it's things like time travel or interdimensional stuff, like why is that not possible? It's like we're seeing things from this like ant perspective, but it's like we don't even know how limited our perspective is, and we can't know. Even if we discover new things and like, whatever, it's still always going to be from our limited understanding. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a framework for reality, and we kind of like fill that out, and we filter it through our frameworks and our paradigms.
Yeah.
And I feel like even kind of going back to that conversation we were having with like Brandy and stuff, talking about like, sort of your beliefs and how you structure reality in your head sort of can reflect like how you experience things. And like even with paranormal stuff, like I've never really had anything like objectively extremely paranormal happen. Like I have had some things, but it's like, when it's nighttime and you've just watched a horror movie and you're really afraid, you're so sensitive to like everything. Like you see a shadow on the wall and you're like, oh shit, like what was that? Like you're just like accepting of every little thing. And exactly, it's like we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, man. Like I have absolutely I'm like on the fence. I just like remain like open, like with the Bigfoot thing. I act as if Bigfoot totally could exist.
Why not? I mean, there's no reason.
Why not? Here's a comment on this video. I am a mountain guide, and I could spend hours telling all kinds of experiences, not just Bigfoot, but also UFOs and interdimensional beings. I have a large number of incredible photos and videos that I've saved throughout my 30 years working in the mountains around the world.
Get him on the pod.
There you go.
Where is he? We gotta get this guy.
Legaton Grow 3761. Come on the pod.
See if does he have like a email on his YouTube? Probably not. But I want to talk to people who have had, I found them, who've had these kind of experiences. No, nothing. I wish it's crazy you can't message people through YouTube still.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
We
definitely
really need to get a Bigfoot person on the podcast and a UFO person, someone who's experienced both. Well, Brandy experienced a UFO. That was cool. That was unexpected. Talking about a Tic Tac, which is extremely common sighting. And her incident is like on the internet. You can look it up, Zeller UFO incident. It was like a mass sighting all throughout town. It's not like she just like is claiming this random thing. Like it's totally comports with like an actual mass sighting that happened. And I don't know, it's wild. And it happened in her hometown, Keene, New Hampshire. And she said that she was given these abilities through that experience. And that's insane because I've heard that multiple times from people where they like communicate somehow with a craft or beings and they develop some like extra sensory abilities. And like, I don't know what that is. I have no clue, no explanation for it, but that was wild, dude.
Yeah, man. Who absolutely knows is the big question. Who absolutely knows? Yeah, but it's interesting. I'll tell you that much.
Hide and seek champion, undefeated hide and seek champion.
Yeah, dude.
That shirt.
Yeah, the vampires theory is interesting to me, that like vampires live in like national parks.
Oh,
and that's
like
why people go missing. I don't know. It's more, I don't know, some weird theory I heard on maybe a podcast, but it was, I don't know. It was like they're sensitive to angles for some reason, and that's why like the cross, like that's why they hide now, because our civilization is like, so there's so many angles and straight lines. It doesn't really make that much sense, but it was like, oh yeah, they live in national forests and they like kill people, and that's why people go missing. The national
Have you ever
forest
seen
thing
Lost
is
Boys?
Crazy. No, I don't think so.
Lost Boys?
No.
Oh man, you have to watch it. It's got to go on your list.
Is it a movie?
It's got to go on the list. It's a movie about vampires that live in like Santa Cruz, California. And Santa Cruz is not called Santa Cruz in the movie, but it is Santa Cruz, California. I think so. And it's crazy. It's about these vampires that like live in the woods and they integrate into like the high school. And it's really good, dude. It's like an 80s classic like movie. Like it's really good, I think. If I remember. But I would highly recommend watching that because it has to do with that stuff.
I'll check her.
It's an iconic little flick. Look her up. I think it's called Lost Boys.
Yeah, I found it.
But yeah, I liked it. It's classic. Super classic.
Interesting.
Enjoy it. Yeah, it's all about the vampires and a couple of the things like you were saying.
Yeah, man.
Living in the forest.
Who knows? We just have these like processors that render reality. Like brains.
Right.
We're just like computers. Maybe we do.
It's a processor.
Does the brain even exist? Leo Gura. Go listen to that. That's a great episode.
Oh, it says the brain doesn't exist. I think that's the...
Yeah, I remember episode. I listened to that on an airplane. And dude, I like broke down into tears. I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like,
it definitely blows your paradigm out of the water if you haven't considered something like that. Because the whole concept is basically like the mind exists before, it's like a priori to the brain, because the mind is the thing that's perceiving the brain in the first place. So the brain, in a sense, can't exist without consciousness, without the mind, because all that can possibly be experienced in reality is like the first person experience. So
yeah, it's
everything
like the
is
brain,
subjective. And
like, where's the brain happening? Like, is it happening inside the brain? And he was kind of talking about how like you could look in a mirror and like cut your head open and see your brain. So it's like, where is that happening? Where's that taking place? And also it's like, how do you know that's even in there until you look at it? And it's like, what is that? It's just like a pink mush. Like that, what is that really? Like, it's just such an interesting, probably my favorite Leo. I haven't listened to him in a while, but if you want to go down like a absolute rabbit hole of like philosophy and, you know, it's intense. He has all these like warnings on his website too. Like on his videos.
Actualized.org.
Yeah.
That's like the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Highly
the
recommend.
The best videos are about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
like really
some of the more
intense.
recent ones, yeah, he hasn't been really too active the past like 3 or 4 years. But the 5 years ago, I think roughly, really good episodes. I remember I started watching his videos because of you. You were posting them on your story. And it's just like, if you want to learn about like epistemology, really thinking outside of the box, like he calls it like radical open-mindedness, just like diving into like metaphysics and all of those like metacognition topics that really just kind of break down like knowledge in general and what knowledge is and like how thinking and all of these things are sort of all interlocked within consciousness, and you're kind of always like self-deceiving yourself at all times. It's fun. It's like fun stuff to listen to. It was always fun to me, and yeah, I want to get back into it eventually at some point.
Yeah, it is.
Talk about some of the specifics because you just forget.
Yeah, it is like fun, but it really fucked with me though, and I've talked about that a bit. I feel like if you go into it just more like open, like unattached, it's fine. But then, I mean, there was a point where I was like, this sounds right to me. Like this, sorry, there's a fly. Like this all sounds right to me. So I was, it's kind of like any question I think of or anything I think of, like I can't like think myself out of these ideas because they're all kind of contained inside. And I don't know, dude. Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
I kind of get like a mini like anxiety attack when I think about it. Because like there were so many moments where I like it just absolutely sent me, but I still think it's all like very true, and it's like I find a lot of times like I'll talk to people about things and like you kind of hit that point in the conversation where it's like like I've talked to people about like, well, history says this and like these things actually happened according to whatever, and then I'm always like, well, where's your proof of history? And it's like, what is that? Like what? And it's like you kind of can't get the conversation further because I think a lot of times people don't like understand those ideas. It's really hard to like articulate those things. That it's like everything comes down to that fundamental problem of like I don't know. Yeah, it's so hard to explain, but it's like. Well,
I feel like most people aren't that like irreverent or like iconoclastic, or they kind of like
I have no clue what those words mean.
But it just like towing like society's line of like, this is what society says is true, like this is the mainstream scientific paradigm, and most people just like blindly buy into it without like self-investigating through their own experience or just like reflection. And I just feel like just a lot of people don't question things. Like, I think more people are questioning things. There's a lot more openness to the internet. There's a lot more information flow. But I do feel like, a lot of times, like if you get in that conversation, even as simple as like, like you should question history. It's like history is written by the victors, right? It's like, how do you know if anything's real in history? Like there's zero way to know for sure, like anything from history is accurate. In a sense.
But then it's like even the questioning of the concept of history, what is that? And what are these like people that we're talking about? Like you can always go deeper and then your mind goes off to like find some kind of grounding or proof. But then you remember like it's basically just like the only thing you have is your experience and everything else is inside that bubble of your experience, but so is your experience. So it's kind of just like makes everything irrelevant. I mean, that's if you believe that. Because there is a belief of like there's you and there's like separate things, which is kind of just as valid in a way. But
yeah, you're talking sort of about like solipsism.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea that you're like the only entity not the only entity, but you're the only thing in the universe, in a sense that your bubble of experience that you're interfacing with right now in this present moment is technically all that exists, because nothing could possibly exist outside of it. As soon as that experience shut down, what happened? It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did it happen? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the Schrodinger's cat experiment too. Like I think is a little bit with that, but it's just interesting.
Yeah, that's where I always have a hard time with, people are like, what happens after we die and all that? I'm like, well, I mean, is there anything else after we physically die or our perspective shuts off? Because it kind of seems like everything depends on us, perceiving it. Like the universe only exists because we're perceiving it. And I think that's a hard concept for people to like think about or understand, because there's just this assumption that it's like, I'm inside a universe and like there's a place I'm going to go. Which again is like, that's okay. That's a valid thing, but it's hard for me to wrap my head around.
It's like why the idea of death and that being it is also an insane assumption. That is more insane to me than consciousness, your own consciousness existing forever. Because there's also this concept of like, I mean, this is getting pretty out there, and take everything we're saying with a grain of salt, obviously, but there's this concept of like you are God in a sense, because since nothing can exist outside of your single experience, because think about it, you know, you are experiencing the entire universe, and everything you love and you know, and the people you experience, you actually are experiencing them through yourself. So they don't necessarily exist as like independent agents within the concept of like solipsism, so to speak. That doesn't necessarily mean you should like, that doesn't necessarily mean things don't happen, like things won't negatively affect you if you treat people, you know, that way or whatever. I'm just saying like there's this concept like maybe you are God, because like in the Bible it's like they say, you know, we're all God's children, but it's like, what if your consciousness is God and you've created the entire universe, which you technically kind of have, because everything you're interfacing with is a creation of your mind. It's a hallucination of reality in a sense, because those bridges can break down. We both know you take a psychedelic substance and boom, the veil of reality is lifted completely. And you're no longer creating this reality. You're creating something totally different that nobody else is experiencing, so to speak. You know, those are all experiences within your mind. I don't know. It's just interesting. But
yeah, it's kind of the idea, I think like how Leo frames it a lot is like, if you're an infinite being, if God, you know, and you're infinite, you know, you're everything and nothing and like everything. It's like you would get bored and, you know, create this like game for yourself, which is the human experience where you don't understand it. And there's these ultimate stakes of death, and you believe it's all real. It's like, yeah, it makes sense that you would probably do that. I mean, if you're infinite, then yes, you would do that. But yeah, I find too, like, you know, like the Bible and all those things, to me, like anytime I read it, like I'm just like, this just feels so much more metaphorical and like put in a way that people can understand. But to me, it's like pointing to those things.
It is,
you know, and that's why I have a hard time, like, because I want to be able to go there with people talking about it, but I feel like a lot of times people see it one way and they can't go past that. But I don't even think it takes away from it. Like I always feel like this feels closer to the truth, like than you know, than just kind of believing these words in this box and not thinking past that. That's what I don't get, is like I think people get like scared of that and they think it's like taken away from it, but I don't, you know. So interesting.
Yeah, like stories are the best way to convey ideas because they're interesting and they're engaging. And I think, you know, you think about it with branding. It's like, what's your story? That's what people are interested in, your story, who you are. And it's like if you package an idea within a story, within a metaphor, within a parable, that's really easy to digest and understand to a deep level. And I think that makes a lot of sense for the Bible. It doesn't mean like certain things didn't actually happen in history in the Bible, but there's a lot of stuff that, you know, Old Testament especially, that seems incredibly like metaphorical or like definitely a parable. And even, well, you know, priests and people who have been studying the Bible for years, it's like they'll say the same thing. It's like, but yeah, it's interesting. And I think in the modern day, you know, we've lost the value of like myth and story. And I don't mean myth in like a negative sense of like, oh, this isn't real. It's like, no, like packaging an actual word of God, technically, like it could be absolute truth packaged within myths. Does that make it less valid? No, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. So I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, it is hard to talk about this stuff because I don't know, you know, you don't want to. People hold like religion very closely to like their identity, and it's just like politics. If you disagree with someone's politics, like you're actually like criticizing their identity and you're questioning their identity, which is like pretty much the worst thing you could do to somebody.
And I think people don't realize that. And it's like, if you truly believe something wholeheartedly, like you should be able to talk about it in any way. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I find it weird. You know, it's like, well, if you really believe these things, like, then why can't you just talk about it? Like, you should just be so sure that it doesn't matter what people say, you know? But I think people you'd never
be insecure about it.
Yeah, but there is like the kind of identity confusion that comes with that. And I think it's like, you don't realize how much you're banking on these things and like you need them to stay like sane. But I think like you should be able to look at that and be like, okay, maybe that's like something I should investigate or explore a bit, you know? But or not, whatever.
Interesting.
Who cares? You know?
Yeah. We care, but we're weird.
I don't know. I don't even care. I just think it's interesting to talk about.
It is.
To each their own.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a fun mental exercise. I always say it. It's just like, who knows? But it's just fun. It's just fun. I always have fun. It's interesting you said that sometimes like some of those ideas like spiraled your mind a little bit. Yeah, I find that interesting. I've never had that happen really with like ideas like that. Because I think at the same time, I always have that little bit of skepticism where I'm like, well, okay, that makes sense in my mind, but I could be deceiving myself. I could always be deceiving myself, and there's always that little bit of skepticism, like a healthy version. Even when something rings incredibly true, I do almost wish I could believe something more wholeheartedly once in a while. But I think it's the experience thing. I haven't had like a transcendent consciousness experience that like showed me reality right in my face as much as maybe you have. But I know yours was a little bit more on like the darker side. Doesn't mean that I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but I just feel like even having a negative consciousness experience could still be a massive deception of what reality is. Like, because people can have horrible trips and can face like Satan, basically, right? Like the worst depths of hell of their own dark inner world, right? That shadow. But then they can also experience like the most unbelievable love that they can't even put into words. Like it like to them proves heaven and God and like that we're all like one consciousness, that when we die, we're just all going to go back to the same source energy. And you're going to realize like you were everyone. It's like, I don't know, you can have different experiences. And I feel like it should never like muddy one of, I don't know.
It's one of those things it's really hard to understand unless you've like experienced it. Like, is it something you can't even like put into words? Yeah. But I think I have experienced both sides, but it's really just a reflection of like where you're at, like what you're carrying, what you're made of at the time, I think. So I think it's just like revealing the truth of like, everything reflects back what you are, which to me points more to like everything is you, like in a way. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think that tapped me out a bit.
Tapped you out?
Yeah. The mind is tapped out.
It's fun talking about this. We haven't talked about it for too long.
Yeah.
But yeah. But how's the album coming along?
Oh, dude. So close, man. I got one song left, dude. And it's the last
inchworm away?
Yeah, it's the last song, and it's like there's like a bit of pressure on myself. It's like it's got to be epic. And it's not that I think it has to be, but I want it to be, and I just have not got there. I haven't unlocked it yet. But there's 12 tracks, 11 are done, and just the one last thing, You
did it to yourself, because Between the Roses and Beneath the Roses are so epic.
I know, dude. I know, it's, yeah.
But Between the Roses is just like I said, I think that's like an emo masterpiece. Like I truly believe it's an emo masterpiece. It's underrated for sure, because like obviously it's more of like a niche internet market that you like tapped into, I feel like, in your like heyday, and you never like obviously permeated that like extreme mainstream, like the extreme like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil. But I mean, I don't know, like when I listen to that song, I'm like, dude, this is insane. And then Beneath the Roses, that ending, dude.
Yeah.
Unreal. I think you'll pull something off. Like I think you'll just download.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the download,
like,
basically. And I can't force it, But
no,
it feels good. It feels good to have something, It's an interesting feeling having such a big collection of things you put so much time into, like so many vocal takes and hours on the computer, like just all that. It's just a nice feeling, kind of similar to film a bit. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did just drop an EDM remix of Here's My Heart. Some people were a little pissed, but it's doing well. It's actually the
people
streams are popping.
I was listening to Tesla.
Someone said they didn't approve of me doing that. Which I apologize.
Who said that?
I don't know. Someone on YouTube was like, I don't approve of this. Does anyone else? And they were like, kind of went on about it. And I was like, well,
what?
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all.
Yeah. I don't think it's like,
That makes
the
no
original,
sense.
you love an old song so much and then they try to do. I wasn't even trying to like redo it better. I was just like, oh, this is just fun. You know?
No, it was really good.
But no,
it was a
it's-
really good remix.
Yeah, it's nice to get some streams going and something in the meantime, you know?
Oh yeah, I really like it. I was thinking it'd be cool to just like do a bunch of remixes of like some of the older stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It's just fun for me. It's just like a flexing the muscle.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? It's
Yeah, your EDM stuff is so cool. It's like a random weird thing to just be really good at too. Like you're this acoustic artist, but you went down this weird EDM rabbit hole for many years. So then now you can just whip out like a crazy EDM song.
yeah, I do want to
To
dial
me, anyways,
it in.
I think it's great. Like I really like it.
Thanks. Yeah, I want to dial it in though. I want to kind of because I feel like I know a lot of random little things, but like want to make it focused and cohesive. So, you know,
Dude, you
Bit of a
sent me
goal.
some crazy EDM songs last year though.
Yeah.
And you haven't put those out. Those are really
No.
good. You remember those?
No, like the
Oh, dude. Yeah, I gotta like try to find them or something.
yeah. I don't remember.
Last year you sent me like 4 EDM songs you made, and you were like, no, this was 2 years ago, and you were like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna like go down this EDM path, I think, and you just didn't, but you sent me a bunch of songs that were really freaking good.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to find those again.
That's part of the problem is that like I remember when I got into EDM, I like did these 2 albums, like I'm gonna do an EDM album and then a normal one. And it kind of became like an identity crisis because I was like, oh, I need to be this EDM guy now. And like then I just didn't
you
do
had to
it.
like switch the artists.
Yeah,
You were like, oh,
yeah.
it's gotta be Braden Berry.
And that's happened to me multiple times. And now I'm just at a point where like I don't fucking care because none of that matters at all. And I feel like
Right.
I've never been in that place before where I'm like detached enough to be like, it doesn't matter. Like you don't need to make it this big thing and like, you know, and that's
Maybe
always
it's
been my
because you were
problem.
like a successful artist, and like I feel like the more success you have, the more attachment you probably have to like keeping that identity, because that like
yeah,
you
definitely
equated
dude.
that with your livelihood and success and your fan base.
Yeah.
But it's funny because for someone like me who's never reached that same level, it's always sort of been like, yeah, I make like this is my job, but I'm not touring with 200 people in the crowd. Yeah, I'm just like doing my own thing, and it's small. It's just like a small internet thing, but it's still like successful enough to do as like that's what I do. And it's funny because from that perspective, I've never cared. I've always like put out the most random shit, took the craziest left turns. But the funny thing is, as long as you're not trying to like, oh, now I'm trying to like make, because I remember Sleeping with Sirens did this album called like Gossip or something, and everyone hated them so bad for it. But it wasn't because they were following their own interests and passions. To me, it just felt like they wanted to make the most generic rock album ever so that it would be popular, and they could like, I remember they got like a song on the Olympics. It was like the Winter Olympics. It was called Legends. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do this full send with Warner Brothers, a major label, and we're going to make generic rock music. And dude, their fan base just was like, disowned them for it. And they said it was like the worst thing they ever did. And then they went straight back to their old sound, and then people were happy again. But I think the difference with that isn't like, oh, we love this music and now we're going to make something new. I think they wanted to make like a financial decision, like, oh, we think this will be more marketable, we're going to get signed by a major label. It's like, I think as long as you're genuinely like love the music you make, I feel like people just appreciate you for it. I mean, look at Post Malone. He's literally gone in 10 million directions, and every direction has been successful.
Yeah, I think it's like people also, they can sense inauthenticity like so easy. So that's like the weird conundrum is like people are like, oh, we're going to do this because it'll be popular. But then it's like it doesn't work because there's just a certain intangible thing that like when you're just in the zone, it just is in there that you can't have in there when you're trying. I mean, yeah, there's like a formula, you know, there's whatever, but you know what I mean? Like there's something intangible.
I do believe that you can create art that you do know that people will find incredibly receptive in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's disingenuous, because I think we all have like the hit making in us, like as artists, we all know like what will pretty much probably will take off for our fan base, and we also really like that song. But then there's also like songs we make where we know it's like a deep track. Like we just know in our heart, that's a song that's just going to be, little internal temp.
Yep.
But basically, I'll just finish the thought while you're doing that. We make certain songs that we know are just quote unquote like deep tracks. Like people will just enjoy them in the background. They're not necessarily going to be a hit. And then we can also make songs that we do know will probably be popular based on their formulaic, things. But sometimes you get a surprise where it's like those songs that you thought like no one would really vibe with as much actually end up being super popular, which that's always kind of cool when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
But yeah.
Shall we wrap her up?
Let's wrap her up. We got a little UFO necklace here. It's kind of a fun one. I haven't wore this forever. It's like it's one of those mood necklaces, like mood rings.
Nice.
So like the little beam like changes color based on your temperature.
That's pretty cool.
But what's funny about mood rings is it's based on temperature, and I feel like your temperature probably like slightly adjusts based on your mood.
Definitely.
So I feel like it's probably somewhat valid.
Yeah, I remember when those came out. All right, well, yeah. Thanks for checking her out, eh?
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Appreciate that.
Give us
Massively
the old
appreciate it.
sub, We're almost at 250.
Click that little sub sack.
Give her a thumb. We would love it. We got a magician coming on. Very stoked about that. Really great.
I'm excited about that. You do some great magic, and I just love magic. It's so fun.
I got to do something on the pod one time.
Yeah.
I'm a large fan.
Well,
I hope he does some tricks.
that would be really cool.
That would be sick. I'm sure he probably.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but if maybe
I'll put him on the
if
spot.
he's down. I feel like if it's your full-time job, you can whip something out,
Definitely. Dude.
I mean, you can whip stuff out. Like you did a magic trick when we were doing Old Dog last time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Blew my mind.
Yep. It's fun.
I'm trickless.
It's honestly, unfortunately, fairly easy once you understand some principles.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's real magic. It's real. Yeah. I gotta remember to put that fan on every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catch you all in the next one. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed.
Hit that Sam Squanch. Catch you in the next one.
See you guys. Peace. Peace out.
See you guys later. Peace.
Peace out.